Okay, let me do it again. Okay, so you can see my screen now, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, that's fantastic. So thank you everyone for joining this very early. I'm sure this is early in this kind of period and in this kind of day. So like Mike Obama introduced me, I will be talking about general strategies for business bounce back. We know we found ourselves in a very critical time when our economy is externally hit by an unprecedented virus that actually locked everyone at home and shut down all businesses. And we've never seen this kind of a hit on the economy ever in the history when everything gets stopped and nothing is moving. There are a lot of tremendous loss of income, revenue, and business actually suffer. So actually, coronavirus pandemic has affected largely big businesses because they make a lot of huge costs. So if you quantify loss of revenue and income by big airlines, big manufacturers around the world, you will see that it's a huge amount of money. So that if you can look at that statistics, billions of dollars being lost by big companies. But that's actually at a bigger level. But now if you look at it from the smaller perspective at a micro level, you will see the effects of this pandemic on the small businesses. Actually, small businesses are not actually losing just money. They're losing the business itself. So the business is actually being shattered. And that's actually even a bigger risk. You might think big companies are losing big billions, large amounts of money, but the business is still standing. But on small businesses or medium businesses, actually the hit is much because it might lead to the eventual death of the business. Even though some big companies may eventually actually collapse, may eventually die, depending on the level of the severity of the hit. So actually, so we'll be focusing more on general perspective about whether you're a small business, medium, or big, medium, or small business. It's very obvious that we know that sale is affected. People that are selling things, they're not selling. Even access to supply channels actually are locked up. There is no means to supply new things. Even staff are afraid they cannot report, so there are no people to manage businesses. Even payment transactions, financial transactions are actually very limited. And people are not spending money. And there is no consumption, there is no patronage. Even if you open your business, no one is coming out. People are not investing money. Investment have been stalled. And people actually are not spending. What people are doing, actually, they are saving. So in the economy, what we don't want, what businesses don't want is for people to be saving, because saving is bad for the economy. I mean, individual saving, okay? Get me right. When I say saving, I mean people saving money. And for example, let me use examples so that we can understand this better. If you look at circular flow of income with the economy, saving actually is a leakage. So what we want in an economy is more of injection. So what is an injection, which is the opposite of saving, is investment. So when people are investing money, actually that is when the economy is benefiting. But when people are just saving money for precautionary purpose, actually the economy is losing. So what this time when people are actually saving cash, are putting money in their houses, but they are not spending because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So more saving is actually is shrinking the economy, because unless that saving is converted into investment, that could be a bad thing to the economy. So I'm sure the reason why people are saving now is not for investment. They're saving for precautionary purpose, for consumption purpose. They're doing it for, people are only buying basic things now. So this is the kind of economy we find ourselves. The economy is shrinking, and even the power of government, the physical ability is shrinking, because the coronavirus has not only affected businesses directly, it affected the power of government to support these businesses. We've seen how much oil price plummeted, and that actually reduces the government spending as well. And the big challenge is now people are being asked to stay at home. People are not going out. Small businesses that rely on going out on a daily basis now have already eaten up their businesses. They have eaten the profit, they have eaten the capital. And now if we are saying that we are going to reopen, now you are reopening with which business? This business has died already, because you've already spent the whole money. And so actually, so the recovery could be very uncertain for many businesses. But here, that's why we are here today, to talk about strategies that you can take to bounce back, despite the severity of the heat, and despite the uncertainty ahead. And this is something you can do internally without expecting someone from outside to rescue you. So I believe government may not have the resources to actually bail out all businesses, but businesses should have idea on how to actually bail themselves to recover from this huge catastrophe. So that's what we're going to discuss today, about strategies on how businesses can bounce back. There are three types of people that this coronavirus has produced in a business. There are three types of businesses. There are winners, there are losers, and there are in-betweeners, what I call them the in-betweeners. Especially the last category is the most interesting one, because anything they do, actually, because they are on the fence, anything they do, they can easily move into one of the first two categories. They could either be winners or losers. So most businesses are in-betweeners. So people are in between. It is dependent on what you do, how you react, that makes you a winner or a loser. And that's why I believe these strategies will help people to actually convert themselves from in-betweeners to the winners. Of course, winners are people that, you know, the sectors that benefit a lot from this lockdown, this coronavirus. One of the perfect examples is Zoom. It's the Zoom company that virtually no one knows what's Zoom before. And now, but everyone here, we are using Zoom. So actually, there are a lot of technological companies that are now taking advantage, because everything is now going digital, online, and maybe logistics, delivery. This is time when actually people can actually benefit. And then maybe people that are manufacturing the PPEs, these are the time when they're going to benefit a lot. So the natural strategy, if you find yourself among the winners, because you might belong to the winners, but you're not taking advantage. So being a winner is one thing, but taking advantage of that is another. So the natural strategy for these companies, for these businesses, is to actually be aggressive, is to actually aggressively invest in opportunities and growth. So if you don't have staff, this is when you need to hire more staff. If you produce less, this is when you need to produce more. And because you are already a winner. So what you need to do is to maximize your opportunity. Maybe, for example, like e-commerce, like Jumia, like some pharmaceutical companies, like delivery companies, video conferencing, entertainment and gaming streaming. If you're into entertainment, like I know Mike Obama, you are maybe, I don't know if you retire from entertainment. This is time for you actually to entertain people. So entertainers, they should leverage on streaming. And actually, because people are at home, they are bored, they are tired. Or maybe if you're a training company, now you can go online and train people. In the past, people don't have time to actually come to live training sessions. But now you understand. So you could be among the winners. But are you taking advantage, or you're just sitting spike and then lose this opportunity. And then the losers, this is very key here. These are the sectors that actually suffer a lot. This could be like the airlines, like the trains, maybe tourism, tourism, like hotels, even oil and gas sector actually is actually being severely hit. So the in-betweeners could be like banks. Banks could be like people in between, or some healthcare, because actually even hospital, now people are afraid of going to hospital because they think that going there will actually make them to contract the diseases. So what you should do, for example, if you are a bank, is to now redress. So all losers are, the strategy they should adopt is to redress, is to adjust, is to change, is to do something different, and maybe change their scope, change their service delivery, so that they can actually have improvement, and the loss will not be that much. They can even get profit. They can even be converted into winners. So losers can convert themselves into winners. Healthcare, for example, you can, if you are into healthcare, you can convert your focus more on the virus now. For example, manufacturers actually are losers. Manufacturers of cars, for example, there are some car companies that they are no longer producing because laborers will not come and produce and work. So that what they do, some companies, they can now change their direction, they can change their focus maybe into something else. For example, there is a Chinese company that produces car, but now has changed its focus, its products is now producing face masks and hand sanitizers. Like education, like schools are also losing because students are coming to the class. And then you can also, while you're losing, you can then adjust. How do you adjust? Is by you going online and then start online classes. It's not an excuse for you to say you close your businesses because people are at home. So once you're a loser, it means that you need to do something. If you're a winner, you need to do something. If you're in between, so the idea is, what do you need to do? You need to have your assessment. Which one are you? At what stage has this coronavirus is keeping you? And then do something about it. So that's the three categories that we have. And even though the coronavirus will actually make us lose some money, lose our businesses, but actually failure in businesses is normal, it's a cycle. Actually, before you achieve anything, you have to fail. Even when you want to learn how to walk, you have to stand up and you fail and do it again and do it again. When you want to drive a car, you have to fail many times, but you have to keep doing it. It means that you have to keep doing it again and again. And you don't just give up when you fail. So if you are not failing, you are actually not trying harder. If you are not failing, you are not trying hard enough. But what we should minimize is the frequency of the failure. So because there is no failure, there is only lesson. The failure is giving you feedback, and what you just need to do is to pick yourself up. Don't just feel down and give up. And with the strategies I'm going to share with you, this will actually give you the courage, motivation to actually pick yourself up. The risk of failure actually the risk of failure is actually worth the payoff, because the benefit you are going to get when you take the risk is worth it. So just bring yourself up, dust yourself off, get up and try again and again and again, because your strength actually is based on how you rise. We don't know your strengths when you are winning. We know your strengths when you are losing. How you pick yourself up, that tells you how strong you are. Because when you are standing, when you are up there running and going, no one will know whether you can actually rise again. But strength is in rising, not in keep going. So this is a true test of your strength. So what I'm going to say, don't despair. Just this is opportunity, because when you start a business, or when you are just early at your entrepreneurial career, you have only 18% of chances of success. There's a study that says when you are starting your business, the only chances of your success is only 18%, okay, as your first timer. But when you make the first failure, the first mistake you make, that will enhance your success to 20%. So the more you fail, the more chances of your success is going to increase. So actually, success too can also make you actually increase your chances of more success. So success can also increase the chance of your success by also 30%. So that you see there's correlation between failure and success. So people say failure is a step towards your success. So first, change your mindset. Believe that, okay, this is part of it, and persevere. Keep doing it again. That's what guarantees your success, because failure is inevitable. How to overcome it is the most important thing, and that's what you need to learn. So because quitting is not an option. Quitting your business is not an option. And actually, you can actually test your endurance in this kind of situation. Now put yourself in a test. If you can actually rise and keep doing it again and do it again this time around, that means you have the stamina. There's some common failure that even without coronavirus, people actually naturally businesses fail. Even before we go into coronavirus, there are many businesses that fail because there are some common failure that we face. And if coronavirus make this kind of failure, there is going to be so much hit on the business. So what we want is to actually address this common failure, because they might still be there and exacerbating the situation. One of the major common failure we found with small and medium businesses is limitation of their customer reach, because most businesses, they restrict themselves to their acquaintance, their relatives, their friends, the people they know within their small cycle, their networks, without going out. So this is one of the major obstacles for some businesses. So they have low reach. They don't go out. And there could be potential customers. Maybe if you are in Nigeria, you restrict yourself to Nigerians. You don't want to go global. You don't want to go to the world. You have business, you want to restrict it to Abuja or to your group. Actually, so this time actually to go out. After coronavirus, do not limit your customer base. Open it, expand it. Go global, go international, go interstate. And actually some people, they have unique commodities. They have very special products, but they don't have special mode of marketing. So uniqueness in your marketing, in order to sell the unique product you produce, is what makes you succeed. Because some people, if they have unique way of marketing their products, even if their product is not unique, they sell. But if people think that I'm very unique, I'm producing something very special, no one has this, it's very tasty, it's very nice, it's good, it adds value, satisfaction, but you are not doing uniqueness in your marketing. So there are a lot of opportunities for marketing, which is entirely a different course, but I don't know, maybe Obama, I know you are into marketing as well. You can maybe share more on that. So, but I don't want to dwell more on marketing here, but marketing, if you have something very special, how you send the information is key. Uniqueness of your product cannot make your business better. And now we should leverage more on the digital opportunities, going digital. I know, Obama, you are doing that. Some people are still not there in technology because now everyone is paying attention to their cell phone. The most important thing and the thing that we focus more on is our cell phone, our cell phones. And now if you are not on people's cell phones, then you are not going to sell, because people's attention are on their phones. The first thing they look up in the morning is their phone. The first thing they look up to is their phone. The last thing they look at night is their phone. Throughout, it's just next to me. I move around with it. So make sure that your business is presented to people on their phones. And another major common failure is people focusing on themselves and their businesses and their wishes, not focusing on the customer demands, customer wishes. Because when you don't update yourself, when you don't adjust yourself to the market and customers' situations, then you lose everything. So businesses change like chameleon. You change, you have to keep changing again and again and again and again. You have to study the market. You have to study the customers. What is shifting? What is trending? What's the fashion? because changes is what keep you going. Think of the biggest companies, like Coca-Cola has been there for a long, long time. The content has not changed, but maybe the marketing has changed. And the packaging, the marketing has all changed, keep changing. So even if you're not changing the product, the packaging and the marketing must change. People like change. Even if you are the same person, the same product, but repackage it and remarket it. And that's what we need. But don't just be rigid and do one thing continuously. Still on common failures, one of the common failures is reactive attitudes. Reactive attitude. That is failure of people to anticipate and react to the competition. If you have a competitor and you just come in and it's taking your market, and you just do nothing, or you fail to even anticipate that, and you fail to anticipate and react to the presence of technology. I talk about it. Or a marketplace. There is a new marketplace. You are not reacting to that. You are not anticipating that. And if you are not reacting to this kind of changes, actually can lead your business into a danger zone. So staying innovative and aware will actually keep your business competitive. So, and that's why you need to be collecting feedback, always hear from customers, hear from your competitors, keep going, do market researches, plan. Most businesses don't have plan. No plan, no accounting. Plan is about seeing your business. You can even anticipate your cash flow next month. Through up there, anticipate your profit. Plan your marketing strategy. Plan your action plans. Plan your staff management. Everything should be planned. There is nothing that you do that is coming from your head like that. Everything must be planned, must be implemented from the planning. So businesses don't have plan. No matter how small your business should have a plan. Though this is actually the next one I'm going to talk about is the issue of cash flow. This is very tricky. Actually, businesses actually float on cash flows in order to maintain the sales cycles. So what you don't want is actually to dry your bank account or to go bankrupt or to start going on debt. And that's why actually it's very important to start with enough capital and enough cash flow to start to continue with their business. Let me be quick because I'm sure I'm very conscious of my time. Not paying focus on quality. You just want to do something. You don't want to improve your quality. You have to have a quality management, quality standard management, and tracking and tracing the quality and feedback of your product and how you're going to improve your quality all the time. Sometimes leadership of the business, management, mismanagement, interference, bringing family, personal life into your business, or eating from your business, buying stuff from your business, and actually business paying for your own expenditure. And like Obama, you also mentioned to me once that you said we should stop eating from our business, something like that. I'm sure maybe you highlight more on this. I cannot remember exactly what it is, but I believe it's something very powerful. So let's go to the lessons now we learned from the coronavirus. Coronavirus has taught us that as life changes, so does your business. Because there's nothing that is permanent, nothing is static. So if your business, it has to change. It means that you have to create new scope. If you are doing one product, maybe you have to do two products. Or if you are doing this product, maybe you have to swap to another one. You have to have a new specialization and new methods of production and marketing and delivery. Just sit and watch and things happen because you get drowned. So what you want is to be proactive, be ahead, and don't go that deep beyond coming out. Because if you sit back, you actually are going to drown and you will not survive. So what we want is, let's come back stronger. The first thing you need to do is actually pause and understand, learn, and analyze what's actually happening and the extent of this heat and what caused it. If you can trace the causes of your business failure directly peculiar to your business, then you know how to actually address it. So knowing the causes like now you have to do a proper research. You have to now do a new plan. You have to anticipate bad days ahead. Actually, business should be anticipating these kind of bad days and how are you going to approach them. So we have to also set systems in place in order to avoid a repeat. Now, if there's going to be a second wave of the virus, we then pray for that, then how is your business going to react to that? So you don't have to wait for another catastrophe to happen before you take action. But actually, if coronavirus is telling us anything, is that we have to actually change the way we do our businesses. As the way we live changes, we have to also change the way we do our businesses. So after the coronavirus, we hope is going down, is going forever, it's not come back again. There are a lot of things we have to bear in our mind and things to anticipate. Because like I said, as human beings recover, so do our businesses should recover. So what we are going to anticipate immediately post-COVID-19 is intense competition, because every business is going to come out hungry. Every business wants to be successful. I want to actually replenish. I want to actually pay back, recoup what I spent. Like a lot of spending, a lot of supply, competition. Everyone is trying to compete. So the idea is the early bets are the risk takers. If you are one of the early bets to come out and start producing, and actually you are going to benefit a lot. Before people actually normalize and come back and reopen their businesses, you might have that monopoly power. So actually rely so much locally, because now all borders are closed. Things you can get locally, try and depend on local supplies. And now borders are closed. There are some commodities that we cannot import now because there is no inter-country movement of goods and services. And now as a result of this closure, what services or goods that you think we are going to lack in the country that we are previously importing? If you can go into that, that could be a window, that could be an opportunity before we reopen the whole world, then you can now hit and benefit from this. Then you have to do a market research. I have to emphasize more on that. Still on post-COVID-19, and when we say people should come out, there's still going to be some lagging fear. People will not come out because they still, the virus is somewhere, sticking somewhere. I will not come out. So apply safety delivery and transactions anyway, and give people the confidence that you are taking the safety. And you have to come out with your COVID-19 strategy, safety strategy for your businesses, and you have to actually convince your customers that you've taken the measures, and they have to see visibly that you are protecting yourself and you're protecting them, and that's what gives them the confidence. And so actually every business should come out with their own COVID-19 safety strategy, even after the reopening, because people still have that lagging fear. So your business should be up and running immediately by now. No business should lie down now. Okay. Still, there are some businesses that actually may not come out, but you have to assess whether you can do it. If you can open now, do it. The earlier, the better. The waiting period is actually over. But when you're coming out, you have to do different things. One of the things you need to do is to cut down spending if possible. So what you need to do is, the cut down strategy is, now you look at your whole expenditure and review everything that is eating your money and try to trim it. Have a target and see which ones are unnecessary spending, especially recurrent costs. Things that are not actually contributing to yourself, cut them out. Actually, maybe this will entails laying off some of your staff, but you don't just lay off your staff like that. The strategy of laying off your staff is dependent on your strategy. Your strategy for reopening, strategy for safety, your strategy for delivery, for marketing, and all transactions. When you come out with how the model of your operation, that will tell you how many people you need and who do you need. You may actually need someone else that you didn't have before. And you may actually have to sack someone you have already. So the idea is, don't just sack people just because they're eating your money and maybe you don't like them. It is your strategy that will tell you who do you need. If people don't fit into your strategy, into your new planning for production, for marketing, for sale, for transaction, for safety, for delivery, you didn't need them. So you have to come up with plan for all of these items I just mentioned, because government needs to build some business actually in order to keep some of these jobs. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and that's why government needs to come in and support businesses. Instead of businesses to sack their staff, with support from government now, businesses should stop sacking their staff. Okay, so strategies, more of strategies to recover. I want you to focus on 3 to 4 things. The first thing, these are things I'm going to leave you with. I'm looking at my time. I want you to focus on your customer. Customers are your business, because you have to know what customers are like kings. If king is feeling the heat, the place is very hot and the king is feeling hot, what you need to do is just to blow air to the king. So now what is actually heating the customers? What actually they are concerned? What keeps them up at night? Actually, so these are your answers. So respond to the demand and wishes of your customers. And think how coronavirus affect your customers. If you have some customers, you already know that my customers are like this and this kind of people, and know how coronavirus affects them and how you are going to solve their problems. So embrace new sales channels, marketing and delivery. I have to emphasize this. Marketing and delivery and safety strategy is key here. So focus on your customers and then focus on cutting costs. Business actually go out of business due to lack of cash. So trim every possible cost that you can cut, and especially the current one, I have to emphasize, if any cost is not giving you money directly, cut them out. What you're after is how to generate more cash. Unless the expenditure is paying you more, then you should cut it out. So focus on sell, and the number one salesperson of your business is yourself. No one is going to do the marketing for you. You have to do it. Steve Jobs is very excellent in marketing his own products. So no business succeed or fail overnight, because failing is called failing because it's continuous. Succeeding, when you are succeeded too, is continuous process. So your business is not failing overnight. It's your actions, it's your daily actions that makes it actually fail. So be the number one seller of your business, because it's all about you. It is not about the thing, it is about the thing that sells the things. It is not about the thing, it's about the thing that sells the thing. And keep asking yourself, how do I sell more? How do I sell more? It's all about you. It's all about how you present yourself, how you present your product. So focus more on learning, more knowledge, more solutions. No more come to seminars, learn from your failure, analyze every situation. If there's a failure, there is this scenario of COVID-19. Now you have to do an independent research, how it happens, what you didn't do, what you should have done, what you are going to do now, and change your belief. Be passionate about it. You want to do it again and again, so your stamina. Yeah, and this actually, like I said, this is a true test. When you fail small and you endure, that means you can endure bigger failure. So these are some of the little strategies that I want to energize us to begin with. And
okay,
we can bring the class together so that we can take more specific challenges that we might be facing in our businesses, in our lives, and maybe specific questions or contribution. I can see some big PhDs are in the house, big men are here. I can see some names popping up. And I'm sure we can learn from each other. When we cross-fertilize ideas, that's when we learn better. And maybe at some point we need to highlight from my presentation or something entirely new. But I would like to hear people's peculiar problems. And that will give us actually the focus and then dwell on solutions. All right, Mike Obama, I will maybe to open the floor if you like for people to contribute, give more contributions, ask questions, specific issues and challenges, and see if you can contribute to that. All right, thank you.
Okay, Doctor, thank you very much. Thank you for this wonderful insight. we'll open the chat rooms now. So you send in your questions via chat, because we know some of you have kids at home who are shouting and all of that. So we have to mute everybody. But meanwhile, I like to, as we await questions, I'd like to bring up Mr. Ferdinand Webb. Please, Mr. Ferdinand Webb, we would like you to get set as we await questions for Dr. Ahmed Adamu. Please, if you have question, kindly indicate by raising up your hand so I can even unmute you from here so you can talk.
Obama, I think if I may suggest, while this my presentation is still fresh in the minds of people, can we just take some few little contribution and questions, and then we close this one and we move to the next one? I don't know if that's okay.
Okay.
But I will suggest maybe we allow people to talk directly, because I can see some big personalities in the house. We like to, maybe they may not have questions, they have something to contribute. So let's hear from them if possible.
All right, so what you do is this: just unmute yourself, unmute your video, unmute your audio,
yes,
and then
you talk.
tell us your contribution.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So if you have a contribution, we are waiting that.
Okay. Okay, I can see Professor Dr. Hilal.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
You have something to share with us, sir?
Hello. Yeah, actually, I came in. I have joined the meeting late. I could not
all right, that's
join
fine.
Earlier enough,
okay.
But I have,
right.
I have something to say. Actually, your presentation is very educative.
All right, thank you.
It has even given us a horizon for taking our business to new level. It means that we have,
so to speak. And most of these businesses that have shut down for the lockdown and restriction of movement issue, you find out that post-COVID-19, majority of such businesses might not come back simply because for the fact that the capital is not there, and that they cannot fit into the new fashion of conducting business. So I want you to shed light on how, because like I've said, post-COVID-19 would definitely be a turning point for particularly the
if you don't come down from that bed,
Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, my doctor.
So the businesses, the small businesses, like I've said, will have no option than to leverage on the power of information and communication technology for them to be able to thrive. So I'm looking at it in this context, and coupled with the fact that most of these businesses, do they have the technical know-how? All right, do they have the technical know-how? I'm trying to look at and to shed more light.
Okay.
Because if you, yes, I want you to look at it from the perspective of information and communication technology, and how can they leverage on such, and what percentage of these small businesses can actually have the wherewithal to leverage on the information and communication technology for them to continue to thrive as businesses. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. I can see my boss is also here. Alhaji Uwais. Alhaji Uwais Idris, would you like to go ahead? Let me unmute you from here. Okay, I'm on now. All right, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I've already done that. Good afternoon, doctor, and good
afternoon, sir.
Everybody.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this lecture, which has added so much on what people can do, how to plan about this post-COVID-19.
Yes,
it's quite challenging, but there is one area which I expected you touch it lightly about how government should come in and help businesses after COVID-19. I've not seen that happening in Nigeria yet. I read so much about what is happening in other countries about stimulus package. The government has to come in. If not, it is going to be devastating. So many businesses are going to fail after 30 days. Slashing salaries. So many state governors started slashing salaries without even approval of the workers. It happens in Kaduna, it happens in Niger, it happens in so many places.
Wow.
And the government is looking even at the businessmen to bring to the government instead of the government to give to the businessmen. What future does that portend for us in Nigeria, especially for small and medium scale industries? The media industry is already complaining that we may shut down. There are so many newspapers that slashed 20-30% for last month.
Wow.
We're still we've not started seeing recovery because the numbers of infection is going high. Yesterday we had over 300 people who are infected, and we eased the lockdown because of the pressure by the business group. So what do
All right, doctor.
Hello?
Okay, time is actually fast spent.
Okay.
I don't know if you can just round up quickly so that we move.
Yeah, I understand. Now we have another session now, right? So
yes, sir.
Quickly. So sorry, Alhaji Wais. I got your point. We are very constrained with time, but I actually enjoy your point because bailing out these businesses is key. But the question is, government actually now is facing another challenge. The challenge is that government now is also having a revenue problem, income problem, because the oil revenue is actually going down. And now I learned that government is borrowing money, but I don't know whether that money is for bailing out. But the major challenge is, while keeping people at home, government has spent a lot of money, and that money will have been used to actually support businesses. So the idea is policy makers, they have to actually plan on how to go about that. So I'm being very quick. Dr. Hassan Muhammad also talked about ICT. I believe technology is the next hope now. Every economy is now going digital. And if your business is not digital, you're not going to thrive, like he said. So every business must have a technology plan. How are you going to sell strategy online, marketing strategy online, delivery? Everything should be, if possible, online. I believe this so far we can take, but let's keep, we can stay around and hear from the very important, very eloquent, knowledgeable presenter that is coming next. I also want to hear from you, sir. We are going to learn a lot from the next presenter. And there are many presenters lined up that we also going to stay here and learn from them. And then we could continue with the discussions after the next presenter, right?
All right, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, once again. Now,